Greetings, X-fans! You are watching Uncanny, the mutant musings of Matt and Sis. It's the show where we discuss Marvel's Uncanny X-Men comic, issue by issue, all the way from 1975's giant-size X-Men #1 to the present day. We will be talking about all aspects of the storyline, so if you haven't read this 50-year-old comic, this is your official spoiler warning. My name is Matt. I write and draw Steamroller Man, a comedy superhero comic, which you can read online for free at steamrollerman.com. And this is my co-host, Sis, publisher of Sidrus Comics Australia. You can follow him on Instagram at Sidrus Comics AU. Hello, Sis.
Hello, how are you, Matt?
I'm good. I'm on vacation, just like Professor X.
Yeah, I was going to say you're pulling a Professor X on us.
Yes, I am not in my usual location of the living room with my nice, colorful collared shirts. I'm on in vacation mode, so different backdrop, but still raring to go and talk about X-Men comics.
Excellent.
Which one are we talking about today?
We're talking about issue 117, and it is the Psi War, is the title of this one. Anyone who knows X-Men will recognize the character on the front cover. That is, and spoiler alert again, I love that 50-year-old comic. That is the Shadow King. For anyone who knows, that's the Shadow King. He's it's obvious as hell that's who that is. Which made me think I was expecting a big Shadow King battle in this episode, in this issue, and I was thoroughly disappointed.
Well, this is the introduction of the Shadow King character, correct?
Yeah, this is the origin, the introduction of the character, which I didn't know that Chris Claremont was responsible for the Shadow King. So there you go.
Yeah, I have to admit that the Shadow King is a complete blind spot in my X-Men knowledge. Like I've heard the character's name and stuff, but I've never read any story concerning him. So this was kind of interesting. The cover is very odd, I thought. like why is Professor X naked? Was my first that was when I saw this cover, I was like, what's gonna go on in this story? Like, why he's naked? It's a bit puzzling.
I didn't even notice that because I knew that it was in his psi form. But
right.
Yeah, when you say it now, I'm like, oh yeah, that is a bit sus.
It's strange. It's a very strange image.
Yeah, because they always have the right angles and stuff when they're in their psi form, so you can't see the bits.
Right.
They're always naked in those forms until they put things on and they use their imagination.
Yeah, which happens in this issue.
Which happens in this issue. Yeah.
Exactly what happens. Yeah. Shall we start going through?
Yep, let's go by page. Yep, we'll go through the team. So we've got Chris Claremont and John Byrne. This time they actually say one's doing script, the two of them are doing the co-plots, and then John's doing the pencils. Yeah. So they actually say it in this one rather than the weird titles they kept giving him in the previous issue.
Yes. Storytellers and raconteurs.
Yes, that was one good memory. Terry Austin is inks. Clem Robbins is letters. Glynis, I think I always get her name wrong. Ween is colors.
That's correct.
Roger Stern is editor, and Jim Shooter is editor-in-chief. And I won't do my little editor-in-chief bit that I've been doing for like the last 5 issues. Nice. So they're on a boat. They've just left the Savage Lands, and they're on a rickety timber boat in one of the worst weather areas on the planet, apparently.
Right, off the coast of Cape Horn, South Africa. So, or is it South America? Oh, yes, separating South America from Antarctica. Yeah.
And it also separates is it the Atlantic and the Pacific? Yeah. So that's where they come together. And it's funny, I've seen just go off track here. I've seen pictures of the color difference where they hit. There's a color difference. There's like this
Really?
line where
In
the
the
two oceans
ocean?
hit. Yeah, the two oceans hit. One's like dark
Wow.
blue, and the other one's like a lighter blue. I'm like,
Oh, how
what?
interesting.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know.
really
I don't know if
interesting.
someone was playing jokes on me, and that wasn't really what was happening in that photo, but that's what it said it
Hmm.
was doing. So
I'm gonna do some uh, internet research after we finish this show because that sounds fascinating. I've
yeah,
never seen that, never heard of it. So yeah, wow, that's really
yeah. If someone
interesting.
was playing games with me, put it in the comments, please, people.
Yeah,
Let me know that my view of the world is wrong.
everything
Um,
you thought you knew was wrong.
and
Uh,
what one thing we discussed in the last issue. Do you want to do anything on this page? I was about to
no,
flip over.
I just wanted to say, great splash page image as
Mm.
usual with Storm sort of taking up most of the composition. I really love. There's a little sort of zigzag detail on the lower part of Storm's back, right above her butt, where her cape
Oh, yeah.
connects. I've never seen that and never noticed that detail in the costume, but I think it's really cool. I really liked it.
Yeah, I wonder
Um,
if that's always been there. They don't show it from behind very often, do they? So I guess not.
no, no. So I thought it was really interesting, and it sort of it kind of delineates uh, the two sections of the cape.
Mm.
You know, like it's not a squared off cape. It's actually like these two kind of wing shaped
Yeah.
things, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um,
Professor X thinks of everything. I mean, he designed the costumes after
he
all.
thinks of everything. Professor X is such a great costume designer. I do think that this Storm costume, I think, is one of the best costumes
Yes.
in superhero comics. I certainly think it's the best Storm costume out of
Yeah,
all the
definitely.
looks that she's had.
Mm.
So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite costumes of any superhero. I think it's just such a cool design. Um, and I was reading last night as I was sort of making my notes and then went down a research rabbit hole that Storm's costume was originally going to be for another character that Dave Cockrum had come up with called
Oh,
Black Cat. But Marvel was going to do, I guess, the actual character that they have called Black Cat was already sort of on the cards, and so Dave Cockrum revamped that design. I guess the original design did not have the cape,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
um,
It'd be weird if it did.
and yeah, and she was originally going to be like a cat lady, like Tigra as well. That was the other thing it said was that Marvel had already had Tigra in the works, and so they didn't want two female cat person type characters.
Yeah.
Um, and so Cockrum revamped the design, added the white hair, and added a cape. And Marvel editorial was apparently very against the white hair because they thought like we don't. This is supposed to be a superhero team of young people. She's going to look like an old lady if you give her white hair. And Dave Cockrum was adamant that no, this will work. It has to be white hair, and don't worry, I will make sure she looks youthful in every single panel that I draw her. And so he won that argument, and
I'm glad he did.
the rest is history. Yeah,
Yeah. That's awesome.
yeah,
Bit of Storm
really
history
cool. Hmm.
there. Oh.
All right, so let's go to the next page.
I can't remember what I had to say about the last page, but we won't worry about it.
Oh
That
well,
Storm history was great.
we can go back if you want.
No, no, no. I can't remember what it was. I think. Oh, that's right. No, it's about this page. This page we actually finally find out because last episode we were talking about why isn't Storm doing something about this storm,
Right.
and this page here, this the second page in, explains it straight away. So
Right.
yeah.
Um,
So
I
but
do have a bone to pick with Mr. Claremont, though,
Oh, okay.
because so fair enough. Like he realized, like, oh, the audience is going to have questions as to why is she what she's got weather powers. Why can she not control this storm? And so at least he's put a line in saying like, oh, this is too tough even for me. But I was thinking back to earlier issues that we've read and talked about on our show. There's one issue where she was in space and she was controlling like solar winds and a
Oh, that's
cosmic
right.
storm, and you would think like, well, if she can do that, then come
Yeah,
on, like,
even with that line, I was still like, come on, she's a like a mega mutant.
exactly,
She's like up
exactly.
there with the Phoenix, for God's sake. So yeah,
Exactly. That's and I looked up like because that was the exact phrase that came to mind was, isn't she an Omega level mutant? And so I looked up like what is like this was part of the rabbit hole about Storm that I went down because I wanted to find out. Well, when she lost her powers, spoiler alert for future issues, but that's a 40-year-old story.
oh
But like when she lost her powers, but then got them back, did they were they originally much weaker powers, and then when they came back, were they much stronger? But no, apparently she's always had the power to affect any type of weather. And I was looking up websites where they would, like Reddit message boards where they were like debating like, well,
that's a hell of a
is
rabbit
she
hole.
more powerful than Thor because Thor's supposed to be the god of thunder and lightning, and people were saying like, well, Thor only has the power over lightning. Storm has the power over all weather, so technically that makes her more powerful
Yeah,
in terms of weather manipulation than Thor, who is an actual god. So it
she's up
kind
there.
of doesn't ring true that this is happening in this comic. So I got
I
a
know.
little bit annoyed at Chris Claremont because I just feel like just stick to a lane, like pick a lane and stay in the lane. Like if she's super
Well,
powerful and can modify cosmic winds and solar winds and stuff,
yeah,
then she's super powerful. You can't just dramatically drop her abilities just for the drama of a particular moment when they're out at sea. Like, then I don't know. Anyway,
no,
I
no,
got
I'm
annoyed.
in total agreement. I'm in total agreement, and but they're making out that the storm would be worse if it wasn't for her.
Right.
So,
Okay.
but it's still like, come on, it's Storm. She should just go,
Yeah,
yeah, sunny days.
exactly. Exactly. Um,
That's
so
my
that was
opinion
my,
of her, anyway.
yeah. So that was my sort of one quibble with this story point. But can't fault the art. Like as usual, John Byrne, Terry Austin. I love that drawing of Colossus in panel one.
Yes.
Wolverine looks great. All the characters just look fantastic. We were talking a couple of episodes ago about um, having to draw snow in every panel. Now
Oh,
they're having to draw rain in every panel, which is almost like equally as labor intensive.
yeah.
It looks great though, like the waves, just the black versus white
Mhm.
rendering of the waves and the storm, and in panel 5, the bottom panel,
Yep.
that's lightning coming, like in the sky. He's left like these white sort of gaps that kind of look, which I think is supposed to be lightning, but I'm not
That's what I
sure.
took
But
it
it,
as. That's what I took it
yeah,
as.
it looks really cool. Like
Mm.
really just so well done as always. Just great stuff.
Yeah. And this page, after all that, she couldn't do it. And for some reason, just as they're hopping on the boat, she did it for 5 minutes. She stopped the storm. So
Right.
what's going on? Make up your mind.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. So it
And
just seemed like, yeah.
oh, sorry, I was just going to say the sixth panel on this one.
Hmm.
I've never seen Scott do that before. He's smiling.
Oh, that's
I
why
wasn't sure it
that
was
must
him.
be because I had a note. I wrote a note on that exact same panel. Cyclops looks goofy in panel 6. There is a character, there's an independent comic called Megaton Man by a writer artist called Don Simpson, and it's a superhero parody. And Megaton Man's head, he wears a visor very much like Cyclops,
Oh, yeah.
but it's like a really kind of caricatured head shape where he's got a big chin and a little sort of cranium,
Yep.
and he looks a lot like the way Scott's drawn here. And I think it's the smile. Like, I think
Oh,
the smile is what makes him look goofy.
yeah, because
It's
it's just like,
interesting that you picked up on that. Yeah.
yeah, well, that's it, because it just sticks out. It's like, oh my
Doesn't look
god,
right.
Scott's smiling. What?
Yeah.
I know they've just
Yeah.
been saved, but he's usually much more serious about things.
No, it doesn't look right. Having
It
him
does.
smile doesn't look right with the character. That's interesting.
That is hilarious. And I love how they're basically at the end of it, they find out they're under house arrest type of thing. It's like, get down below, you can't see
Right.
anything because this is a secret mission. We saved you,
Yeah.
now just deal with it.
Yes. So they've been picked up. They've been rescued by this Japanese ship. We don't know whether it's like a merchant ship, but they're not in military uniform, so we can assume that it is some kind of
Mm.
merchant vessel, but from Japan. And so yeah, the ship is going to take them back to Japan, but yeah, they are basically, as you said, under house arrest. They can't tell them what the ship is doing out on the seas in the storm, and it's all very mysterious. The ship is on some kind of mission for the Japanese government,
Yep.
which I don't know whether we ever find out what the mission is.
I've read the next issue and you still don't find out. If you do, I missed it.
Right.
I,
Yeah.
I might
I
have,
didn't. I
'cause I was
didn't.
tired when I read that one, so I was like, yeah, I'll have to reread it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. The next issue, we don't find out what the mission is either. So maybe that was just a plot point that is kind of shelved and went nowhere, but might be brought up at some later date. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious about that as well.
Hmm.
Either that or I skimmed over the bit where they explain it.
Well, I missed it too. If you missed it, I
Oh,
missed it. So
cool.
I don't know.
So secret
But
mission
yeah,
tomorrow.
okay. So they're rescued. Yay!
Yay! And then we cross to Jean Grey and Lalandra. Lalandra having strange little thoughts about everything. I love her little
Mhm.
conversation with herself about making coffee.
It's hilarious. It was hilarious. That was my favorite part of the
Yeah,
whole page.
that's why I probably brought it up straight
Now, if
away.
I can only figure out how to use this coffee maker.
I love it. This whole page is meant to be about Jean Grey leaving, and she's had enough of the X-Men. They're all dead, and
Mm-hmm.
she's
Mm-hmm.
not enough of the X-Men, enough of being an X-Man. And as far as they're concerned, they're all dead. Xavier
Yep.
can't contact them, so they must be dead. But no, it's the coffee. That's what I came away with from this page as well.
So this is another thing where I just stick to what you've already established type thing with Chris Claremont is both Jean, Jean was a telepath, not the world's most powerful telepath, but since she's gotten the Phoenix powers, her powers have been amplified to the
Yes.
nth degree.
Yep.
So, but apparently she can't sense with her incredibly amplified psychic powers now. She can't sense where the X-Men are or that they're even alive. Same with Professor X, supposedly the world's most powerful telepath. And Professor X has Cerebro in the
Does he?
mansion.
He does have it in the mansion. I thought so. It's just that he doesn't
So,
use him. So I'm like, what? Wouldn't you be like searching relentlessly for them?
yeah.
No,
So
they don't
that's
be
what
volcano.
I
They're dead.
exactly. Exactly. It's like they all just accept like they're dead. Nothing else to be done.
Nothing else.
Um
They're all
you
superpowered, and they
would
never could survive though.
right, exactly. You would think that maybe Jean is sort of traumatized because she was with them and then had
I have a
that
question
narrow
about that.
escape with Beast.
I have a
Yeah.
question about that. Is Jean a super powerful telepath with the Phoenix, or just a superpower telekinetic?
Well, that is a good question. I always assumed that it was both,
Yeah, I
not
always
just
assumed it was just
telekinetic
telekinetic.
powers.
I thought
Hmm.
her mental powers were still pretty much on par with what she'd always had. Um, but I
That's a
could be
good
wrong.
question.
They haven't really explored it, so I haven't. If they have done it,
Right,
I've forgotten. Because all
right.
I've ever seen is her doing energy blasts and phoenix
Yeah.
wings and energy blasts and blasting out of a
Hmm.
volcano and stuff, but nothing really mental power wise. So I don't know. I've just
Yeah.
assumed, and you've assumed the other way. So there you go.
Well, it could be a case that you know, Claremont and Byrne are kind of working it out as they go, and this is so early in the story that they haven't really revisited
Yeah.
Jean as Phoenix for quite a few issues. You know, like they haven't really kind of shown her embracing the powers very much at all. It's just like here and there she'll let loose with the Phoenix powers, but then she faints because it's such a drain on her physical system or,
No,
something.
no, no. It's
So
just because she faints. That's just what she does. That's her
that's
thing.
it's just
That's
a
part of her
thing.
superpowers.
Right.
Her superpower.
Right.
What's your superpowers? I can faint at the most inconvenient times.
Right.
Um,
Um, but yeah, that was another thing that I just thought is a little bit like it just doesn't connect to
mm,
what you would think has already been it's already been established in the comic that Professor X, world's most powerful telepath, has a machine that can find mutants anywhere in the world. Why
yeah.
not? Why not just rev it up, like fire
Yes.
it up, give it a
Turn it on.
5 minute
Double
search? Yeah, just like 5 minutes, see if you find anything. But no, and what that does, I think, is it just to me, I'm sort of biased against Professor X, and
check.
I think he's the world's biggest jerk as well as the world's greatest telepath. But to me, that just reinforces like he doesn't really care. He's like, oh, they're dead. Oh, yeah, that's too bad. Off to vacation,
Off to vacation.
which is where he does. That's what he does later in the issue. Anyway,
That's all he does.
not to
Every
jump
issue. What
ahead.
are you talking about?
Yeah, not to jump ahead. Um, but yeah, the last panel hilarious. I don't know whether it's intentionally supposed to be funny, but it was really funny
It
to have
was. It was
Lilandra
brilliant.
be like, now if I could just figure out how to make this coffee you speak of.
Yes, it's coffee.
Yeah, it was
I
great.
love it.
It was great.
It was great. I love that Jean's sticking to her uniform, all green.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that is
that's
pretty
very.
cool.
Yeah,
It
it is
looks
cool.
good.
Okay, next page. This is the empress of an entire empire serving Professor X.
Yes. Yes, right. I'm so glad you noticed that as well because I noticed exactly the same thing. It was like, so she is like a full-on monarch of a planet. She is the
An
emperor,
empire.
the empress of the Shia Empire. which
Yeah.
implies it's not just one planet. It's
They've
one planet who
overtaken
has
all the other
colonized.
planets. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And now she's in this completely in this servile role of housekeeper slash cook kind of thing for Professor
Yeah.
X,
It's weird.
which I thought was so strange. It's
I hope she's not house
very
cleaner because this mansion's huge. When they show it like this, you're like, wow, it's huge, isn't it?
it is. And I have to say, like, there's a lot of good like angles drawn in this page of the different rooms in the mansion. It all looks really good. Stairs are always a bitch to draw. So the
Yeah, they
fact
would
that
be.
Byrne put a staircase in there, good on him. So yeah, it all looks really great. But yeah, I just thought it's very unfeminist to put Lilandra in the role of like homemaker.
Yeah.
Um,
But I
and
mean, this is what, the 70s?
this
Oh,
one, I wrote it down. This one came out in 1978, so we're definitely post the women's lib kind of
yeah,
era,
that's a good point.
because that was mid 70s.
But she's thrown into that.
Um, and it's sort of ironic that Claremont became known in very short order for writing these strong female characters in the X-Men. So it's sort of it's a very strange, it's a weird look, let's
Yeah, it
say.
is. It is. It made me go. As soon as I saw her serving on a silver platter, so to speak,
Yeah,
um, I'm like, I can imagine her getting a cup of coffee for him, but making a whole meal and stuff, and just serving it to him on that. And I don't know. It's just maybe it's because he's the one without legs. I don't know.
right,
Just to throw
right.
that out there.
Yeah.
She's the one who can walk around all these stairs. Because I'm like, is there an elevator on this mansion? I don't understand how he gets from the
Right.
different levels. Um,
Speaking of which, on that exact point, there's a little blooper, I think, in the art, in that
oh,
where's the wheelchair in panel 4, where you see he's sitting in this chair.
yeah, it's nowhere to be seen.
How did he get to the chair if not, the wheelchair should be right beside that chair?
Mm.
Where'd the wheelchair go? So I just think
Maybe
that's an
the last
oversight
meal
on
she
Byrne.
moved it. Maybe the last time she brought
Maybe.
it to the meal.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. um,
All the time before that, all the time before that, all the time before that, because it looks like she's done it a lot. Um, I'm
so
not
I
hungry,
think,
you ungrateful bastard.
well, that wouldn't be out of character for
No, it
Charles
wouldn't be.
Xavier.
I'm gonna sulk. My X-Men are dead, and it's all my
Yep,
fault.
yep.
And she,
So
oh, finally, you think it's your fault. Finally.
Charles has a moment of doubt at the bottom of the page,
Yeah, yeah.
and we're about to go into sort of his origin story. It's not his full origin,
No.
but it's definitely a part of his past that we haven't seen before. And so I got really excited at this point because I was like, "Oh, this is going to be cool. What we'll get to see into his past and what's this going to be?" Because as I said, like I have a total blind spot for the Shadow King and all that
Okay,
sort of
yeah.
stuff. So I haven't read any of these issues before, and so I got really excited
So did
for this
I.
page turn to see like where are we going to go?
I'll show you why I got excited. I think it's the next page.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's where he's talking about
Hmm.
everything.
Hmm.
Goes through his little thing, which is pretty cool. And I didn't know that he went to war, and that Moira was like, "Nah, I take off the engagement. I'm doing something. Don't come follow me."
Right. Well, this established like because I think we talked in early episodes of the show about Moira and what is her relationship with
Yeah. So this
Charles
is
because it wasn't spelled out until now that they were a couple at one point.
Yeah, they were going to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they were engaged,
Yeah.
and then the psychic poison of being broken up with by her. He went on it. He went traveling. Now I don't.
You mean
Oh,
on
maybe
a
it's not that.
vacation?
On vacation, yes. That's why he does it all the
Um,
time to get rid of the psychic poison.
exactly. One thing I have to say, this page layout is really cool.
Yeah,
Like
it is.
that big head, and then in the shadow of the big head, you got all these little composite like images. It's really cool. I don't know who first started doing this. I suspect maybe it was a Neil Adams thing,
Mm-hmm.
because when Neil Adams was the artist of the X-Men before Giant Size X-Men started, and he
Yep.
was doing some really cool stuff with layouts, with the way he would lay out a comic page. So I suspect that maybe this was Neil Adams influencing John Byrne, because I know that
Cool.
John Byrne was definitely influenced by Neil Adams in this earlier stage of his career. But yeah, it just looks great. Like, and obviously, we've seen this kind of layout done many times since, certainly in the Image era of the 90s.
Yep.
All those guys were doing these kind of things because they were all influenced by John Byrne.
Yeah, that
So,
makes sense.
but yeah, it just looks great. Really nice page.
There was a scene here that I thought I saw. I must be imagining it. Um, but yeah, and this is where he meets a very very young Storm, but he doesn't know that he
Right,
has. Doesn't
right.
know that he has.
So this is an early kind of example of Claremont is essentially retconning his own story,
Yeah.
which is really interesting.
Yeah.
And it's a
So
recent story too, like, because we only just learned this part of Storm's origin, I don't know, 10 issues ago, something like that.
yeah, something like that.
Um,
Something like that.
yeah. So it's really
Yes.
interesting that they crossed paths when Storm was a kid.
Yeah. Well, not just that. Unless I read it wrong, Storm is
Hmm.
actually working, not for the dude who's the Shadow King.
I wondered
Unless I
that
read it
as
wrong.
well.
That's how you read it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little confused about that because I read it that way and then I was like, no, that can't be right. But then I read it again and
Yeah.
it really did seem to be that did seem to be what Claremont was sort of saying. But that seems a little weird to me, but I guess that must be the case.
Yeah. He opened his mind to probe her, and he got boom. And I'm like,
Right.
did he just like defend one of his employees, or was it
That's
just a
what it seems
coincidence?
like.
Yeah, that's what it seemed
It
like to me. But
doesn't
I'm like, is it just seeming like that? Is she still employed by that other dude, the master guy who left her in a
yeah.
ring tied up and said you were old enough now, or whatever it is he did, and you escape and you're a woman, um, you're your own woman, I should say, not a slave to me. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I'm a bit mixed up by this particular page. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, I think there's two possibilities. It's either what you said, that it's the Shadow King, it's Amal Farouk, which is the Shadow King's actual human name,
Human name, yep.
um, defending Storm from the Mind Probe, or it's a coincidence and Amal Farouk sensed the
Another top.
psychic energy of the Mind Probe and was like, oh, there's another telepath here. Bam! And then attacks him straight away.
Attacks him straight away. Yeah, that's what I wasn't sure
So
about.
I don't know. Yeah,
Because he
it's
mentions his thieves or something later on, I think it is, and
right.
that's where I really went, oh, hang on, is that what they're trying to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
It might just be a
Well, that might.
coincidence.
Yeah, it could be a coincidence. Hopefully, we'll find out in future issues, like because you were saying, like the Shadow King comes back for
Yeah, multiple
future
times.
stories, so maybe it gets expanded upon and more detail gets put into the story.
Yeah.
One thing about this page, when I flipped this over, I was like, John Byrne like I love John Byrne, but he's never been able to draw children well. He always draws them like little shrunken adults
Helps.
because
He doesn't do
Storm's
too bad here.
face. What?
He doesn't do too bad here, considering I've seen some
Yeah.
other pictures he's done of children.
Yes.
He doesn't do
Yes.
too bad here. So
This
yeah.
is not the worst I've seen either. But just the way that he's drawn Storm's face pretty much exactly like her adult face. And adult
Yeah.
faces do not look like child faces.
No.
Like the proportions change as you get older. But John Byrne does not draw that. Like he just draws it like, it's just a shrunken down, like it's just been put on a photocopier, and you just shrink it by 70%. So anyway,
Yeah, no.
not to throw shade.
I've still got it burned into my mind. Two little babies in a bathtub with men's heads. So that's still
I know
burned
exactly
into
the
my mind.
panel you are talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
That's from West Coast Avengers.
West Coast Avengers. And
That's
that's
the
burnt
one.
into my head. I'm like, I remember as a kid going, "What? They're little men."
Yep. Exactly. So, not to throw shade on one of my all-time favorite artists, but he's definitely got a weak spot with
Yeah,
drawing
that's his
children.
kryptonite.
So,
Children
yep,
are
that's his
kryptonite.
kryptonite. Exactly.
But everything else he does is great. I mean, at least he still makes their head bigger for their body. You know, I'm just
Yes.
grasping for straws here.
Yes.
Next.
Next page.
This page, I know this guy backwards with his little glasses, his little, I don't know what you call those type of hats, and chubby looking fella. I'm like, I know who that is.
It's the
Awesome.
Kingpin. It's the same colors. Same color scheme as the Kingpin.
Yeah, he is too. Well, he is a bit of a kingpin of this area
He is.
of Cairo.
I do
Well,
like that design though. Like it's very, very cool design. The big fat face and the little glasses and the fez hat. It's great.
Yes, that's it.
Also, really nice panel one design of the interior of this saloon, I guess you would call it. That looks great.
Yeah. But I got very excited here because I had no idea, spoiler alert, that this was the origin story.
Oh, okay.
I thought this was like, he's telling the story where he goes up against the Shadow King. I mean, it's still pretty intense.
I see.
But it's like, oh, it's that story. This is where that story was introduced. I thought that was like miles ago.
Yeah.
So I'll go to the next page. He's pretty much psychically talking to Xavier.
Yep.
Actually, their entire conversation is psychic.
Mm-hmm.
And they're sitting at tables opposite side of the room.
Yep.
Which is a very well-known scene. The last one, anyway. But I won't skip to it just yet. Because they reuse it whenever they tell this story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The two tables and...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
that
that's shown a lot
cool.
in stories where they talk about how he met the Shadow King. That particular scene is the one they always bring up. But anyway, I'm jumping ahead.
One thing on this page that I noticed was John Byrne's doing that concentric circle thing in the background of the last panel.
See, it makes sense there, sort of. Because they're
exactly.
using their powers. So
yeah,
I didn't think twice about it.
Yeah, this time it actually makes sense. That was really my only comment on this page was, hey, the concentric circle thing actually kind of works here. So,
big conversation. Xavier like, you can't do that to people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they go into battle.
Yeah, so they're in their astral psychic forms or
Yeah,
something here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I
Um,
love that straight away they show you that maybe this dude's a bit powerful because he turns into a big dude.
yeah. It seemed, I mean, I guess I can kind of get why they're naked. It's like, so if this is their astral form of
Yes,
their mind, you would think like, well, they can make themselves look like whatever they imagine themselves to be in their mind, which they do in the
eventually,
following
yeah.
scenes. But it just seemed weird that they're both naked to
Yeah.
me. I don't know.
I'm just trying to
It
think
was
back to reading Doctor
strange.
Strange. Um,
Mm,
I don't think he was ever naked. I think he was full costume when he went
no,
astral form.
no.
I think,
Yeah, exactly. It was, yes, you are correct. You're absolutely right.
but he's not a telepath. He was using magic to go into the astral form. I don't know. Maybe that
True.
makes it different.
But one thing, it's interesting that you bring up Doctor Strange because that final panel on this page where we see kind of like this otherworldly landscape, which is supposed to
Yeah.
represent the astral plane, that's very consistent with the way that Steve Ditko and other artists would draw the astral plane in Doctor Strange.
Oh,
Like it
nice.
looks very similar. And what I liked about that was the consistency between the way it looks in Doctor Strange is the same as it looks in this issue of X-Men, which makes it feel like an actual place that
Place. Yeah.
exists in the Marvel universe. It looks like, oh, this is the same place that
Well,
I've
that's what
seen
I
in
thought
Doctor
when I saw it.
Strange, which I thought was very cool.
That's what I thought as well. But then what Xavier says is, why is he producing this landscape? I'm like,
Mm.
is Xavier like that inexperienced that he doesn't know this is the astral plane, or is
Well,
it?
I mean, this is early in his life and in his kind of, I guess, development as
Hmm,
a psychic telepath type guy. And I think this is also the first time he encounters another telepath, is it not?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm assuming so because he gives off this vibe of he's like, yeah, I can take you, but
Hmm.
he's got no experience. While the other dude, Shadow King, is like miles of experience. He's like,
Right,
he can do this
right.
like in his sleep almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, and but yeah, when he said that, I was like, that's not the Shadow King. That's doing that. That's the actual astral plane, isn't it? So you said it yourself. Yeah,
Hmm.
it's what they set up as the astral plane in other comics. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It's interesting.
but I do love this battle.
Yeah.
Um, how it's armored men with swords and shields, and I love how they always represent psychic battles as
Yes.
people with swords and shields half the time.
Right.
Um,
They represent a non physical battle as a physical battle.
yeah,
It's very interesting.
but I mean,
Um,
it'd suck just to watch two guys sitting there facing each
yeah,
other
going,
shooting.
"Ugh."
So
Yeah,
it makes sense. It makes for a much more dramatic comic. Um,
yes.
but I love how he gets armor on himself, but yeah, through this whole fight, I just get the vibe that he hasn't really used his powers that much in like against
Right.
other psychics.
Yeah, he seems like it seems like he's really outmatched.
Yeah.
Um, Clearly a Star Wars reference in panel 2, don't you think?
Okay, that
Like
wasn't just me.
that looks so much like Darth Vader. And this is
And
1978,
lightsaber.
the year after Star Wars came out, so Star Wars
Yeah.
would have been like all over pop culture at the
Yep.
time. You know, up it's black armor with the sort of flanged out
Yep.
helmet, and then a sword made of
And energy.
flame. Yeah, sort of an energy sword. So I I
I
don't
didn't
think
I didn't
you
put that
can.
together, but now that you've said it, yeah, I'm seeing Darth Vader all over that.
I think it's a
All they would
very
have to do was a
overt.
respirator, and it'd be like, ah,
Right. Yeah, well, I think that's why they probably added the extra like horns or
Yes,
whatever
so they
they
get
are on
sued.
the side of the helmet. So yeah, exactly. So they don't get sued. But yeah, I think that's clearly an overt Star Wars reference there.
I can see that now. Definitely. And I actually saw that as his hair when I first saw this. The redness behind his head. Oh,
That's
he's
what
got
I
red
thought too.
hair. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's what I thought too.
did he have red hair before he went bald? I don't know.
Well, in this panel, he looks very much like a Japanese demon, the way that
Hmm.
in traditional Japanese folklore art,
Yeah.
they kind of draw demons with the flowing red hair coming up off the head, and that kind of face as well. So I wondered whether it was just like supposed to represent like, oh, he's sort of, he's very um, changeable and malleable with
Hmm.
his ability to change his form, whereas Xavier sort of just stays the same and just becomes this sort of Roman gladiator armor
Yep.
type form.
I like the last panel of this one. I've never
Yeah,
remembered that from any psychic battles before, where the damage in the psychic battle caused damage in the real world.
right,
It actually burns his back,
right.
and I'm like,
Oh, well,
oh,
you know what they say in all the Nightmare Before, not Nightmare Before
uh,
Christmas, in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Nightmare on
It's
Elm
like,
Street.
well,
Yep.
if you die in your dreams, you die in real life. So this
Yes.
is the
Yes.
same kind of thing, I guess.
Um, as if he'd been burnt by an open flame. And he's like, then he turns into the Shadow King as I know him.
Right.
Although
This
this looks more
huge.
frog-like. Um,
It does look frog-like. It's like a big
it's
frog
not quite the
monster.
look that he has later on, but I mean, every artist is going to interpret him differently.
Mm. I didn't think that the color choice worked particularly well in the way that they colored the monster green, but then the the ground and I don't know, this sort of negative space is all pink.
Yeah.
I don't think it really. I think the intention of the black and white, just inked artwork was that he's forming literally out of the ether.
Yep.
And so I think if the colors were a little bit more harmonious and like maybe a green and a yellow or a
Actually,
green
that
and a
makes sense because
blue,
his hand's coming out of that pink. Yeah. I
right.
didn't see that.
But the pink gives it such a contrast that I just don't think it quite conveys what the intention of Byrne and Austin was, but I don't know. It just
Yeah.
it didn't look quite right to me.
There might be a reason. Might have been a printing reason, even.
Yeah, possibly,
Yeah.
possibly.
I mean, they made the Grey Hulk green because of a printing reason, and that
Yeah, that's
stuck.
true. That's true.
So,
So
um,
what's happening on this page? I wasn't quite clear. Like what
Xavier is
happens in that
centering his
final
powers.
panel?
It looks like Xavier who explodes down the bottom. That's where I got a bit confused. Um,
Okay,
because that's his color, that light blue
right.
whitish color. I'm like, is that Xavier blowing up? What? I don't understand. But
Yeah.
he's saying that he shoots like a psychic laser straight into his head because he concentrated so hard instead of battling him, that he could
So
send out
it
this
was
huge force.
okay.
So
Okay.
that must be the Shadow King blowing up. That would have been made more sense if they made it green, but whatever.
I guess it was just the fact that it didn't show Xavier like shooting
Oh yeah,
a bolt out of his head in the astral form or whatever. It just went from him being
I've got you.
squeezed in the fist to exploding. And so I was like, okay, did he die? Or,
Yeah. I thought
was,
that at first. I went, he's saying that he
yeah,
shot the other guy, but it looks like he's the one who's exploded. Is that how it works? He
yeah, it was a little
exploded the beam out
confusing.
of himself. I don't know,
Mm hmm. Mm hmm.
but if it is meant to be him, then it's weird. If it's meant to be the Shadow King, then they should have done a different color.
Mm, mm.
But the next page, this is the famous scene. Those 3 panels. This is
It's
shown, well,
really
at least the
well
first 2.
done.
The first 2 are shown all the time to represent
Yeah,
uh, Xavier winning that battle.
I really like those like the storytelling with just it's the same angle, you know, over 3 panels, so you
Yep.
really can just track the changes from panel to panel. Um, and yeah, so on the left side of the panels, you've got Xavier getting up and walking out, and then on the right side, you've got Farouk flopping over, dead, or
hmm
supposedly dead,
Well, he is
on the
dead.
table, and then oh, he is,
His body's dead.
but he lives on in psychic form.
That's what the Shadow King is. That big
I see.
creature in the psychic form.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's been a long time since I read those comics, but I'm pretty sure he goes from host to host to host to host to host.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And that's how
Okay.
he survives.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Because there's one scene
That
where
sounds
he's taken
cool.
over Colossus and he's
Oh,
about to
wow.
smash Xavier.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah,
When does that happen? Is that like
that's
in
like in the early '90s, I think, maybe the
Oh,
late
wow.
'80s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's
So we
a
won't get
while.
to
It's a
that for
while
a
ages
while.
after this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Wow, cool.
Um, yeah. So he's won the battle. He's like, oh, I've got a burn on my back, and
Mhm.
and this is where he decides he must do something about evil mutants now that he knows what they can
Mm.
do. This is what
Right,
inspires
right.
the X-Men. This is
Mm.
inspires the X-Men. Woo!
That's cool.
So yeah, so we find out what inspired the X-Men, and he tells a little story here. I got not much to say about this page because there's no coffee. Um,
One thing I thought was interesting, we got a little caption box at the bottom of page panel 1,
yeah.
um, where it's like they're referencing how Xavier lost his mobility,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess happened in X-Men issue 20. So that makes me want to go back and read that issue,
Same.
if they have it on the Marvel Unlimited app,
Maybe that was
because
his
that sounds
original
really
origin.
interesting.
That might have been his original origin,
Ah, I
and that's
bet
why
you're
they're
right.
referencing it. Yeah. Like I
Yeah,
reckon it
I
was a
bet you're right.
backstory. Like I reckon issue 20 is not the story that happens. He's already lost his
Mm,
legs by issue 1, I think. So this would be a
right.
retelling of how it happened
Yes.
with Alien Lucifer.
Interesting. Interesting.
So I want to go back and see who this alien called Lucifer is.
Yeah, me too. Me too. And then lo and behold, Charles decides to leave on a space vacation. Now, I mean, this is kind of a huge deal,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
this
yeah.
is
This is massive.
supposedly like the leader of the X-Men, the founder of the school, and he's now not just going on vacation to Greece or wherever. He's leaving the planet,
Mm-hmm.
because Lilandra is saying like, well, why don't you come into space with me and we can be together because we're in love and all that. And
Yep.
he actually says, well, at first he refuses, but then he's like, you know what? All right, yeah, maybe that is the best thing to do. Which, I mean, in terms of like the soap opera of it all, that's pretty big and shocking, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if he comes back anywhere in between, but when I was reading him, Xavier didn't come back until the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. He's gone for a long time.
Gone for a long time. So old Chris has gone, yeah, we've got to get rid of this grumpy old dude.
Yeah, it's really quite an interesting choice
Yeah.
and it really does change the status quo of the
Yeah.
whole comic. So it's quite bold, I think,
Yeah. And it worked
of
because the
Claremont.
new X-Men was amazing with them just not having that leader anymore.
Yes,
Just
yes,
doing things because they knew it was right. And
yes,
because Scott
I
bossed them
agree.
around instead.
Right, yeah.
That's not the last page, is it?
There's one
No.
more page.
Oh, that's right.
Someone else
Yes.
is leaving.
Someone else is going on
Jean
holiday.
is also leaving.
Yes.
So this is, again, like very soap opera in that they all, like, Charles thinks the X-Men are dead, but he's leaving. Jean thinks the X-Men are dead, but she's deciding to leave as well. So it's going to be, you can tell it's going to be one of those kind of like ships passing in the night type stories where it's like, oh, if only she had turned around like 5 seconds earlier, she would have seen Scott and known, oh, he's not actually dead. I'm sure they're gonna milk that sort of like, oh, they just keep missing each other type thing, which is kind of hinted at here because this scene has Misty Knight leaving for Japan where the X-Men just landed. So it's setting something up that it's like, well, Misty Knight is Jean's roommate. So it's going to be one of those things like, oh, well, if only, because the X-Men, the rest of the X-Men also think that Jean is dead.
Yeah, they think Jean is dead.
And so I'm sure there's going to be some scene where the reader is like, oh, but if only Misty had said something to the X-Men, like, oh, I just saw Jean, she says hi.
Yeah.
But she won't. Obviously she won't, because there's no drama in that. But it's just interesting to see they're setting up, like Claremont and Byrne are setting up this sort of, I'm pretty sure that's what where the story's going to go.
I think that's where it's going to go as well. Although I've got a question about what's her name again? Misty Knight. Just, I don't know. I'll ask in the next issue.
Okay.
You do your research, so I like that. Do you know what this PM-IF is? 53?
PM-IF 53. Oh, Power Man and Iron Fist.
Oh, Power Man and Iron Fist. I never would have guessed that. Never would have guessed that.
Yeah, okay, so she comes from, she was originally in Power Man and Iron Fist as a supporting character.
Yep, okay.
So
that makes also sense. Because I couldn't.
Claremont and Byrne both worked on. So
I should have known that. You've told me that before.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's the end.
That's the end of this one.
That's the end of this one. So the important question is, what is the band name?
Okay, I've got two choices for you.
I've got choices. Oh no, pressure's on.
Okay, first one is on page 3. I'm just going to find it. I've got my iPad open at the comic, and on page 3. Oh yeah, so they're in the storm on page 3. Yep. They're still on the boat in the middle of the storm, and Banshee says, "Me sonic scream is near useless in this bad a blow." And so I thought, this bad a blow is kind of like an like an alternative band name.
Yep, I can see that.
So that's the first choice, this bad a blow. And then on page 8, it's the flashback to Charles getting pickpocketed by Storm.
Oh, yeah.
And he says something like, "I felt her feather-light fingers reach into my pocket." And so I thought, the feather-light fingers.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Feather-light fingers. That's really cool. Yeah, I'm going for the second one.
All right, that's this issue's band name, Featherlight Fingers.
Well, that's it for the week, folks. Thanks for watching, everyone. If anyone wants to comment on what we've talked about, in the comments is the perfect place for it. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear what you loved, what to hear you disagreed with, what you agreed with, what you thought of us. Anything. Just tell us about the X-Men. Anything about the X-Men down the bottom.
And we have had people commenting, which is great.
Yeah, which is so great. Cool. Thank you for those people.
To get those comments. So please keep the comments coming. We love the comments. They also help the YouTube algorithm to notice our show, which then pushes it to more people and
Yeah,
helps the show grow. So it's all
exactly.
good. So
Exactly.
thank you for the comments.
So while you're commenting, don't forget to like and subscribe. And they talk
Mhm.
about hitting that little bell. I don't know. I've hit bells on other channels and it's never done anything for me. So I don't know. But hit the bell anyway. Maybe it will help us. Hit that bell. Um, so, we'll see you next episode for issue 118, where we find out
Yeah.
what happens after everyone's gone on vacation. It seems, except
Yep.
the
Yep.
X-Men. They
Yeah.
never get to go on vacation. They're under house arrest, sort of.
Hmm.
They're not really under house arrest. They're just like go below and shut up. And
Just what you want
so
to hear on vacation.
yeah, just what you want to hear on vacation. So until then, I'm Sis. You can find me at Sidrus Comics AU on Instagram at the moment. I'm still trying to build a website. And Matt, where can we find you?
You can find my comics, Steamroller Man, at steamrollerman.com.
Woohoo! And go there. Awesome comic. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Um, yeah, so thank you for watching and see you next week.
All right. See you next week, Sis. See
See
you,
you next week.
everybody.
See you, everyone.